Now we are going to estimate the mode for grouped data. Okay. Let's see what assistance we have been given, provided with. Here's the group data. Find the mode of a data set in a frequency distribution above. It says with one glance, you can clearly see that the modal interval is. So the modal interval is the interval with the greatest frequency. So this is the data set we have. We don't have raw values, we just have, or we don't need the cumulative frequency because we are done with the median, okay? This is the values that we have. Some raw data, some group data, that's what we have. And we want to find the median from this. So we know that the mode is the value of the greatest frequency, but we don't have values, we have intervals. So we have to look for what you call a modal interval. The modal interval is the interval with the greatest frequency. So it just happened to be 30 to 45 again, because as you can see, 30 is the greatest frequency, and the interval that has it is the interval 30 to 45. Okay, so at one glance, you can clearly see that the modal interval is 30 to 45 with the greatest frequency of 30. Okay, we now apply the formula. So here's another formula to apply mode for interval. Okay, this formula is provided. Here it is. This is the second formula in the list. Familiarize yourself with these formulas, please. Mode for distribution of intervals. Here it is. Okay, you will have access to these formulas, but it's how to use it. To use this formula, you need the lower boundary of the modal class, because class is another way of saying group. All right, that's why I always see now a class is a group. So also we're not having class. You know, we're having a session, we're having a meeting. The class of 1-to-1C, the group of 1-to-1C is having a class session. Okay, if you want to put it that way, right? So another way of saying interval, another way of saying group, you can also say class. So 5 to 15 is a class, is a group, is an interval. 3 words to describe these two sets of numbers, two numbers. 30 to 45 is a class, 40 to 45 is a group, 30 to 45 is an interval. Okay, so the modal interval, the modal class is important when you're finding the mode. Okay, so to use this formula, we need the lower boundary of the modal class, the lower boundary of the modal group, if you want to put it that way, of the modal interval is 30. We need the frequency of the modal class is also 30. Okay, so that 30 came from here, and that 30 came from here. All right, two different 30s, the lower boundary and the greatest frequency. We need the frequency before the modal class. Let's go back to the table. Before the modal class is the 20. After the modal class is the 12. Before the modal class is 20. After the modal class is 12. And the group width of the modal class, we calculated already to be 15, which is 30, 45 minus 30 is 15. So now we can substitute into this formula. Okay, so let's go to insert, let's go to equations. All right, what we want is the mode is equal to the lower boundary of the modal class is 30 plus, we have a square bracket. So let's open a square bracket. Okay. And then we have a numerator and denominator. Let's put that there. Then we have a curved bracket. Let's put that there. And then we have the frequency of the modal class is 20. Yes. subtract the frequency before. No, the frequency of the modal class is 30, sorry. Okay, here it is, the frequency of the modal class, here it is 30, and the frequency before is 20, times the group width is 15. Divided by 2 times the frequency of the modal class. 2 times 30. Subtract, yes, the frequency before, which is 20. Subtract the frequency after, which is 12. Okay? And then we put this in our calculator. We can do this step by step, it doesn't matter. Let's calculate the numerator here. But with dexterity in your calculator, you can put this straight up in your calculator, you know. But let's just do a little bit step by step, not much. Let's calculate that numerator there. We got 150. Okay. So this is 150. And let's calculate our numerator. 2 times 30 is 60. Make sure multiplication comes before subtraction. Okay, 60 minus 20 minus 12. That'll give us 28. And we can just put this in our calculator as is. And we get 35.36 centimeters. Okay. So therefore, the majority of the heights is approximately 35.36 centimeters. Okay, mode using via an interval distribution using the formula for mode for an interval distribution. So please practice this with your assignment question.